the Pat Mario's team. Marino, how are you tonight?
Not too bad, John. How are you doing today?
Pretty well, pretty well. We're just about 2 minutes into this game. No score. In white, Nickel City going from right to left on your TV screen. In red, Corsi going from left to right. And I don't know, this game I think means more to Corsi more than anything else, because they like to put some distance between themselves and Croatia Adria, who are 3 points behind them, with both teams having 2 games to play, including this one. So, you know, now we're jockeying into the final season for playoff, Marino. Right now you guys have, or Pat Mario's has pretty well salted away first with that 1-0 win in Elliott Lake yesterday. So who would you rather face if you had your druthers, I guess I would say?
I don't think it really matters who we face. We've played them all this year, every team in the league, and I don't think we really prefer to play anybody particular.
Well, it'll be interesting because the middle of the things are almost set, but we don't know what's going to happen here. As I said, this game does have playoff implications tonight. Right now, Pat Mario sitting in first place with 17 points. Elliott Lake United sitting with second with 15. The Italia Flyers, with 14 points. Then Corsi Masonary with 11. Croatia Adria with 8. Nickel City with 5. CS Italia have already concluded their season, or at least a regular season portion, and they have 2 right now. So things, as I said, aren't quite set, and next week we will have the first round of the playoffs as the flag goes up. Mike Vrab way offside there. The officials this evening in the middle, Pietro D'Angelo. On the far side, Tony Gallic. The near side, Angelo DePaulo. Aaron Brownlee, the keeper for Nickel City, will put the ball into play. Interesting watching the 2 teams tonight. When we were coming in preparing for this telecast, Corsi was getting ready about half an hour before, and some of those players from Nickel City wandering in 5 minutes beforehand. Obviously they don't think this is too important tonight.
I don't know if they don't think it's very important. This, like you said, playoff spots are at stake here, and Corsi Masonry was here right on time, warming up as usual, and I think they stand to make an impact on the playoffs. I think they're really peaking now. They got a great young team. They're solid at the back, excellent goaltending, and they've got guys that can put the ball in the net.
They have 2 of the league's leading scorers right now, Dave Barrett and Joku, each with 5 goals apiece. Of course, they pale in comparison to the leading goal scorer from Italia Flyers, Carlo Castricino, who has 15. So I think he's pretty well locked up the senior men's golden boot.
Oh, I think without a doubt, and I don't think nobody's going to catch him now. I think the closest guy on our team has 7 goals, 8 goals. Carlo is born striker, very dangerous around the net. He knows how to put the ball in the net. He's played with Laurentian University, and he's done his scoring in the University League also.
Poor corner kick by Corsi Masonry there, and as a result the ball will be turned over. Definitely you have to take advantage of those set plays.
Set plays like that are always an advantage to the team in favor of the corner kick, because it gives you a chance to bring up all the big men. I know when we have corner kicks, all our big men go forward. Frank Anselmo, Mario D'Agostino, Rob Scarsellone, were all fantastic in the air. And that's where a lot of our goals have come from, or from set pieces, free kicks, goal kicks, corner kicks, from all over the field.
Referee whistles a foul there in midfield. Corsi Masonary will put the ball back into play on the indirect kick as the arm is up. You know, we'll talk about various things about the Sudbury League tonight. Marino, you've played for a while in the league, so you can give us a bit of a perspective, and we'll expand upon that a bit as the ball goes into touch off the Nickel City Lasers. And there's definitely some talent on both these teams. As I already mentioned, Dave Barrett, who plays for Corsi, played last year with the OSL Sudbury United, as well as Mike Timpano, who is not here tonight for Corsi Masonry. Number 8, Matteo Ranelli, a fine young player in the Sudbury League, and we'll definitely see something from him, I imagine, tonight.
Excellent defender. I had a chance to play with Matteo in the All-Star game last year. Very tough player.
Michael Dorr with the run there for the Nickel City Lasers, and harmlessly blasts it away wide. Also, in terms of goalkeeping tonight, in net for Nickel City, number 1 Aaron Brownlee with his ever-present Detroit Tiger hat, and in net for Corsi, Rob Palladino. So Rob has definitely proven himself very well in the league the last couple of years.
Oh, he's proven himself very well over the league. He's a big goalie, he's a tough goalie, he's not afraid, very smart. I see him, he's a young player too. I think he's only 20, 21 years old. If this team stays together, they'll do very well in the next 4 or 5 years. Good, talented team. The addition of Patty Murphy at the back, he anchors that defense back there. Anthony Corsi as fullback, excellent. They're going to come around in the next couple of years.
As Corsi's opportunity results in the ball going way wide of the target, and Nickel City will put it into play. Interesting, I wanted to ask you, we've talked about this on a couple of the past telecasts, is that the condition of the pitch here at Queens, you know, I don't think we can labor the fact that it's brutal, but you as a goalkeeper, how do you feel playing in this?
Some shots come at you in some very weird fashions. You think it's going to bounce in front of you and it takes off. It'll go a yard and you have to adjust a yard over and you have to adjust it from there. So it's never a dull moment when you play in there. But the middle of the field is just horrendous. You pass the ball, you don't know if it's going to go straight, if it's going to hit a bump and go right or left. And you hear players complaining. I think the biggest complaint is they twist their ankles on the field. You can't time yourself. It throws you off completely.
Generally, what are the players wearing on this field? Multi-stud rubber, or just six studs, or is it a personal preference thing?
I wear 6 studders all the time. It's just personal preference. But when the field in this condition, if it's a dry field, multi-studs are the best. If it's wet, I think 6 studders would do the trick, because, like you say, it gets muddy, it gets a little bit heavy, the field, and when you go to plant, you want to stop it. With multi-studs, you tend to slide quite a bit.
Okay, right now on the far sideline, Nickel City will make the throw-in. We're about 9 minutes into this first half here on TV7, your community sports channel. Score: Corsi Masonary 0 and Nickel City 0. Just to review the results of the past week, last Wednesday, of course, we had the Elliott Lake United CS Italia match that ended up in a 1-0 victory for Elliott Lake United. Then last Friday, August the 10th, Pat Mario's blasted CS Italia 4-0. And then last night, or yesterday, Sunday, August the 12th, as we already mentioned, Pat Mario's with a 1-0 victory over Elliott Lake United in Elliott Lake. And the other game, the Italia Flyers 3, CS Italia 1. And as we've already mentioned, Carlos Castrocino, 3 goals again.
He's quite the force as a striker. As I said before, we have a number of people on our team that are picked out to shadow him when we play him, to cut down his opportunities, because all he needs is 1 shot on net. And usually he puts it in the back of the net.
The improper throw-in violation against Nickel City, Corsi Masonary with the throw-in and the flick that Aaron Brownlee easily handled. As Nickel City trying to penetrate the Corsi zone, and nothing much comes of that, as Matteo Ranelli has the ball now for Corsi. It's going up that far side. Number 15, Salah Ali, had the ball go out of touch, as well as number 18, Derek Como. We've already seen Nickel City once on TV7 this year. This is the first time we've seen Corsi Masonary, so we will pretty well see everybody by the time we get through the playoffs in our future telecast into the month of September. Aaron Brownlee with the ball, handled rather easily. We've already talked about Rob Palladino, Marino. What do you know about Aaron Brownlee?
This is the first year I've seen him play. I think he came out of the junior league, out of the junior system. Very confident goalie. He's a big guy. He's not that small, and when he goes up for the ball, he's confident. I think a little bit more seasoning in the senior league as you go into different leagues. players get bigger, people shoot the ball a lot harder at you. I think he's going to come around. He'll be a good one.
Dave Barrett with the ball for Corsi Masonary. He loses it. Number 21, Danny Giroux with it now. And it's lost again as Barrett comes back. A dangerous play back to the keeper, Rob Palladino there. And on past telecasts, we've seen more than one ball be misplayed and all of a sudden be in the net.
Those are enough to give you a heart attack. I know I've been involved in some of them. If they're too short, if they don't put enough zip behind it, it can be intercepted very, very easily, especially on a field like this. If it does hit a rough spot or a clump of grass, it'll slow down quite a bit.
Aaron Brownlee with the ball now for Nickel City. Dribbling out. I guess he's giving his defender, number 4, Mario Grossi, I'm sorry, a little rest. Interesting how Nickel City has put their lineup in as they boot the ball into touch. Some go first name, last name, and the others go last name, first name. So we'll figure it out as the course of the telecast goes on.
There's another little player that's been a really tough individual is Mario Grossi. He's always in every game, always gives 110%. It's a shame that there aren't more players like that on Nickel City. I'm not saying that they don't give 100%, but if you had 10 Mario Grossis, I think you'd have an excellent team.
Definitely. As a dangerous boot by number 15, Salah Ali, is whistled down, and Nickel City will set the ball up on the indirect. I have to ask you, Italia Flyers finish up their regular season this week against the Pat Mario squad, and after the Charity Cup final, from what I understand, it should be an interesting match.
Oh, I would say it'll be interesting. I think after the last time our two teams played against each other, we pulled off a miracle finish, scoring 2 goals in the last 4 or 5 minutes. It's one thing about our team, we never stop. We always keep going right till the 90-minute mark. I think there was a lot of bad feelings after the game, not at the players, but I think they were a little bit sore at the referee, claiming that they ran out of time and stuff, and there's no way referee Pietro D'Angelo, excellent game. He called an excellent game. I think they're just taking their frustrations out because they let us score 2 goals in 4 or 5 minutes, and I don't think that should ever happen to a soccer team.
No, you shouldn't let that happen. We definitely have to agree on that.
Especially in overtime. That should never happen.
But it did, and it's a part of history as Matteo Ranelli has the ball going for a nice diving tackle by Mario Grossi there. Ball's picked up by Mike Vrab on the far side. Vrab with it, looking inside to Dave Barrett. Barrett can't quite control it. Vrab picks it up again. A little misplay there, and the ball comes back out. Ball's booted over to the near side now. Corsi, number 19, Len Gauthier, tried to keep it in, but couldn't do so, and as a result, the throw-in for Nickel City. Interesting, I think we've talked about teams like Croatia Adria, Corsi Masonary tonight, and Nickel City, all very, and even CS Italia, I shouldn't forget them, all very young teams. So I think, certainly I hope for the sake of senior men's soccer is that it bodes well, given all the youngsters playing right now.
Well, there's a lot of good young players and with good young teams, they're all together. All it takes sometimes is a couple of seasoned players. Look at Corsi Masonry, they've got Paddy Murphy there, they've got Salah in the middle, they're playing the midfield to settle him down. If they had 1 or 2 more experienced players, who knows, they could put it all together.
Definitely, they as we mentioned on our last telecast, playoffs are coming up, and I don't think anything will go, or it won't go according to form, because it never does.
No, anything goes now in playoffs. It's 1 game. It's only 90 minutes. And 1 goal wins it.
Yeah, ball over the far side for Nickel City. Danny Giroux with it on that far side. and I believe a foul was called there, and we will have the free kick for the Nickel City Lasers.
This is an interesting area for free kicks. So this is where you bring your men up, your big men. It's just like a corner kick. It's the same thing. You keep it away from the goalie, put it near the penalty shot area or beyond for a clean head ball. Here's
nice ball. Oh, the offside flag went up, but number 11, Joey Hayes, a glorious opportunity, and he rattled it off the crossbar.
Left wide open, took the ball down, did everything right except put it in the net. What can you say? Robert Palladino right on top there probably might have scared him a bit, big guy like that.
Actually, I think that Rob had conceded that ball had beaten him.
I think he caught him off guard to see a guy wide open like that, 6-7 yards, right in point-blank range.
I'm quite sure he'll have a word or two with his defenders as Anthony Corsi sends the ball up. Joku going after it. Corsi sends it forward, but Corsi players had to stay or else they would have been offside. Steve Rinaldi playing the ball into the middle. Corsi back to Pat Murphy. Corsi with it, converged with two defenders. Ball in the middle for Masonary. Up to Mike Vrab. He's sending forward for Joku. Joku can't outrace Mark Barrett, Dave Barrett's brother. So a little sibling rivalry in tonight's game as well. And the ball goes into touch, and I couldn't quite see who the throw-in will be for. It appears, yes, it is for the Nickel City Lasers. We're about 17 minutes into this first half, still a 0-0 tie. No real solid scoring opportunities except for the one for Joey Hayes down there so far.
Point-blank range. Just mentioning Patty Murphy there a couple of minutes ago, the play that just developed here. That's the experience that took over right there. He's seen two guys, one guy had the goalie covered, one guy pressuring himself, and he came out of it clear. That's smart. He didn't panic, and it's plays like that make the difference sometimes. If you cough it up back there, 9 times out of 10 it could be a breakaway.
Ball goes into touch off Corsi Masonry, and Nickel City will have the throw-in. But situation there, we just saw Emil Milvaso lost the ball in the middle and was bemoaning that fact rather than getting right into that play, which a veteran team or a veteran would be thinking about getting the ball back rather than worrying about the fact that he just blew a play. The ball goes over the end line, and we'll have the goal kick for Corsi Masonry.
You should never give up on a ball like that. Never get down on yourself because you missed the ball or whatever.
Pat Murphy sends the ball into touch as we had a colorful exchange on the sidelines there. I don't know if the TV7 censors will get to that before this goes to air, but they did, they don't. As the ball goes into touch, and the throw-in for Corsi, right back to Rob Palladino. Makes the quick throw, looking for Matteo Ranelli on that far side. Ranelli tries to play the ball through Giroux. Ali with it in the middle now. Ranelli and Giroux with it. It goes out of touch. Nickel City will make the throw-in. And the ball goes into touch off of Michael Dorr.
Another good little striker in the making is Michael Dorr. He's a big guy. You look at him, he doesn't look fast, but until you get him one-on-one, he's very fast, and he can put the ball in the back of the net. Last year, I think he got 3 goals against me in 2 games. He's just deceptively fast and talented player.
Matteo Ranelli trying to handle the ball on the far side, and the ball goes to the line, and a quick ruling for the goal kick. We've already mentioned Carlo Castricino. What other players in the league give you trouble?
Who gives me trouble here?
We'll put you on the spot here, Marino.
Michael Dorr's one. Dallas Tatilio always seems to find himself open, me against one-on-one. Barrett, Mr. Barrett, I've ran into him one-on-one many times. The good young guys that have quick first 5-yard sprints, that's all it takes to get around people sometimes, if you catch them flat-footed. Carlo Castroncino. Sometimes he's always hanging around. You never know where he's going to come up with the ball or when. Or he's always fantastic shot. I'm just glad I don't play against my team. I think our players blistering shots, and they know how to put the ball into the net.
Okay, we've got that answered now.
There's an example right there. Michael Dorr came out of nowhere. He got a foot on it and went just wide of the net.
And I believe it will be a goal kick for Corsi Masonry. Certainly another solid opportunity for the Nickel City Lasers. So far, if you have to count solid scoring opportunities, it's 2-0 for Nickel City, but it's when the ball goes in net that counts.
Nickel City started a little slow at the beginning, and now the game sort of evened up now. They could even be taking advantage of situations now.
Interesting tonight that so far we've got pretty well stocked benches. Nickel City with 6 players, spares dressed, and Corsi with 5. I know it's an event for you to have 5 on a good day, I guess.
Yeah, we went up to LA Lake and we had 11, but 11 quality players. It's a good thing we didn't have no injuries, but it's always nice to have extra players on the bench. But if you do get an injury or whatever, somebody has to come off, that you can replace one player with just as good of quality as the person that came off.
As Nickel City will have the throw-in now. Ball's in the middle to Grossi. Grossi looking for Michael Dorr. Dorr trying to handle it over to Giroux. Giroux trying to head it in the middle to Mavasso. He picks it up. Dorr going after it along with Derek Como for Corsi. Dorr puts it back. Dorr puts in the middle now, looking for Dallas DeTilio and Emil Melvasso, and a little bit of miscommunication, I think, on that play, but a decent opportunity nonetheless.
The city really has come on here. They're attacking in waves here. They're up and down. They're distributing the ball very well. When, you keep giving them chances like that, they're going to put one in the back of the net.
Generally what happens as Dave Barrett will perform the throw-in for Corsi Masonry. Looking for Joku. The ball sent out of trouble by the Nickel City Lasers. Down for a Dallas DeTilio. DeTilio with it. DeTilio has Emil Melvasso. It's 2-on-3. DeTilio trying to take on Pat Murphy. DeTilio with a decent run here. Tried to leave it for Michael Dorr, but it did not happen as the ball is picked up and sent into touch by Len Goche. A nice run there by Dallas DeTilio.
Did very well. He took Patty Murphy, turned him around a bit, but fortunately they were enough to recover. There's little Dallas DeTilio again. He's always in the middle of things.
Played in the North Bay Sudbury All-Star game about a month and a half ago. As Danny Giroux tries to bend it over for
a lot of wasted balls. I think the big problem with that is communication out there. You have to talk to players all the time. You have to tell them there's a man on, he's got time, or to shield the ball, turn with it. It eliminates a lot of these balls going out of bounds or to nobody or to the opposite team.
As Grossi sends the ball up for Nickel City, Dallas DeTilio 1-on-2 this time, Emil Melvasso coming up in support. It's 2-on-3 now as more players come up. Michael Dorr trying to come in the middle. Melvasso has it now, and the ball misplayed by Nickel City, and essentially an opportunity wasted there. Nickel City tried to chip it forward, but the offside flag went up.
I think he just caught him offside. If you would have given that ball a split second sooner, he would have been onside.
Certainly a timing play, no doubt, as Corsi will send that ball into play. Mike Rabb with it now. Rabb sending it over to Dave Barrett. Dave Barrett coming in. Dave Barrett for the Corsi Masonry squad, and the ball is taken away by Nickel City. Rabb with it again. Mike Rabb for Corsi Masonry trying to chip it forward, but offside was a possibility there. As once again, Nickel City coming back. Michael Dorr sending it over, but the ball is cleared out into touch and Nickel City. But once again, pressure from the Lasers.
They're really pressing forward. Like both teams, they're creating chances, and it's only going to be a matter of time before somebody scores.
We're 25 minutes here into this first half. Nickel City nil, Corsi nil. Just waiting for the ball. Oh, correction on the throw-in. I thought it was off of Corsi, but they will have the throw-in as the ball is sent forward for Len Goche. Goche loses it. It's into the middle now. Grassi with it. Grassi sending it forward. Once again, the flag goes up. So far, for every opportunity Nickel City has had, they've also had a corresponding offside flag.
You have to be very confident to call an offside trap like that. Sometimes you live by the trap and you die by the trap. Sometimes if one of your players is slow coming out, you could keep 2 or 3 of their players on side. Then you're in trouble. Having 2 guys going by yourself. He did well there.
Nice play by Anthony Corsi there to head the ball out of harm's way and force Nickel City to regroup. As the ball's in the middle, Mike Vrab looking up for Dave Barrett. Dave Barrett having a little problem controlling that ball. Barrett turning and wheeling, looking over for Len Goche. Goche to Anthony Corsi. Corsi sending up. He gets it back, sends it forward, and instead it goes right to Aaron Brownlee. And obviously, Corsi Masonary looking to spring somebody with the long ball.
You see the difficulty the players are having in the middle of the field trying to control that ball each time. Here.
Danny Giroux met solidly by Rob Palladino on that, and a nice save by Rob Palladino. Certainly came tearing out there, and he committed himself, and he got to the ball, and the corner kick for Nickel City, and the ball almost bent in the net off the corner kick. 2 players tangled in the net, number 21 Danny Giroux, and I can't see who the other one is. Looks like Anthony Corsi, I believe. I think Anthony got the worst of that one.
An excellent corner kick, as a matter of fact. He didn't waste no time. He put the ball down. He caught, I think, the majority of Corsi Masonry sleeping, and I don't know if that went off the crossbar or not. Very close. But if he could have put a little more curl behind it, it was in the net. That's a good advantage to do is, take those free kicks early. Don't let teams set up for it. Wall and stuff.
Certainly credit to Nickel City on that one. They didn't give Corsi any time to get ready for a defense on that.
I don't even think he gave his own men time to get into position. Sometimes you do that and it works.
As we have the indirect kick for Nickel City on the foul call there.
Getting back to the opportunity that Nickel City just had, very confident. Ron Palladino came out, going for the ball, and came out hard and strong, and snuffed out another opportunity.
As he comes out again for that ball, certainly has a set of sure hands, and Rob Palladino will set it in. And the ball goes long. Nickel City having a little problem controlling it. Aaron Brown, Joku tried to get through there, but he was a little overzealous in his attempt, and the foul's called.
A little over anxious, but a good effort on his part.
Interesting, so far we're just about the 30-minute mark. We've had no substitutions. Our last game, CS Italia and LA Lake United, we almost had wave substitution. So it's interesting to see how the different teams employ their substitution strategy. And as we talked about Pat Mario's, they don't have many subs, so they can't sub that much, I guess.
No, we have to stay on and do it, more or less. That was a situation sometimes this year. When we went to play, we had 2 or 3 substitutes, but if somebody's not playing well, not on our team, I'm just saying in general for every team, sometimes you do have to pull him off and talk to him on the sideline and say what he's doing wrong or what you'd like him to do. And it always helps when you do have substitutes to do that with.
Emil Malvaso pushing the ball over for Dallas Detilio, but a bit too far, and the ball goes into touch. The throw in for Corsi Masonry. ML Milvasso pleading his case, but falling upon deaf ears there as Grassi sends the ball forward looking for Milvasso again. Interesting that you have to look at the chances that Nickel City have been created with 2-on-3s, 1-on-2s, etc.
People getting behind the defense and cutting off certain players, and you know your strikers have to support you all the time, or else you will find yourself alone, one against two or one against three defenders, and the odds are you're not going to beat them.
Steve Katchen sending the ball into that middle area. Corsi clearing out. Joku trying to get the ball. Joku gets called for the dangerous boot there, or a dangerous play, I think. I don't know if it'd be necessarily a dangerous boot, but
just by the looks of it.
Regardless, the ball's put into play. Danny Giroux trying to get a hold of it. Michael Dorr and Steve Rinaldi are battling for it. It goes into touch, and it will be a throw-in for Nickel City. Actually, probably a better job that Rinaldi put that into touch on the far side rather than it being a corner kick for Nickel City.
Corner kick's always more dangerous than throw-ins, unless you have somebody that can't throw the ball.
Except this time, that's right, except this time that we will now see the corner kick for Nickel City. Dallas DiTilio will put it into play.
I think they're ready for him this time.
Dallas is taking his time, too. Nice ball. Joey Hayes on that far side, but a shot can't come out of it. Rob Palladino had to make the diving save off of that flick from Anthony Corsi. As the ball sent back into play quickly by Corsi Masonry. Danny Giroux with the ball in the middle now. Giroux looking for ML Milvasso. Milvasso waited too long, and the ball goes into touch.
Just waited a split second too long. He had the time to push it to the wing. It was an opportunity might have come about cross coming in.
Ball handled easily by Rob Palladino, and he'll put it back into play. Looking for Joku. The ball is headed forward. Goche and Hayes go after it. Grassi now has it into the middle. Corsi now with it. Corsi plays it, and a little ping pong here right now. Goche with it now for Corsi, looking to get someone open. And the ball is sent into touch by the Nickel City Lasers. Just a reminder, we're coming up to the concluding week of the senior men's soccer schedule. As we have tonight, Nickel City and Corsi Masonry. We've already mentioned this Wednesday, August the 15th. Pat Mario's versus Italia Flyers. Then Saturday, August 18th at 7 p.m. here at Queens, Elliott Lake United versus Croatia Adria. Then on Sunday the 19th, Nickel City Lasers will travel to Elliott Lake to take on United. And Sunday night here at Queens, it will be Pat Mario's versus the same Corsi Masonry squad. And the season concludes Monday, August the 20th here at Queens, 7 p.m. Croatia Adria versus the Nickel City Lasers. As I mentioned, Nickel City, including tonight, 3 games in a week, and they've got the most games to finish up of all the teams. As we mentioned, CS Italia already finished their regular season schedule. The Italia Flyers have 1 remaining league game, and if I'm not mistaken, everyone else has 2 left. So things are pretty well set for the playoffs, but it just depends on what happens here tonight, and certainly with the Corsi Masonry Pat Mario's game, that could have an implication for Corsi Masonry too, depending, again, a whole bunch of commutations and permutations, so things are not that clear. We do know CS Italia will end up in 7th. As the ball goes into the net, Matteo Ranelli there, and it appeared that the Nickel City Lasers were caught napping. Matteo Ranelli at the 35-minute mark puts Corsi Masonry up 1-0. Definitely looked like some miscommunication there, as Aaron Brownlee and number 5, Mark Barrett are sitting in the net in a bit of disgust right now.
Back there with the back four in the goal, there should never be miscommunication. We should always be talking. Always communicating. Especially with the sweeper and the goalie. They have to play almost as one. Because the goalie has the best field just as does the sweeper. The smart sweeper back there doesn't make mistakes. And the first time clearance all the time out of place. The goal is good.
Nice play by Len Gauthier. Keep that ball in play. Joku and Grossi going after it. Ali with the ball now for Corsi. Ali tangles up with Grossi, and right back, Joey Hayes with it now. Hayes putting it through Pat Murphy, but the ball's cleared out. Joku with it. Joku has Dave Barrett up there with him, but he can't quite handle that bouncing ball. Joey Hayes chips it forward. Dallas Detilio racing with Pat Murphy for it. Detilio gets a hold of it. Detilio with the shot, and probably a bit further in than he wanted to be there, but still Rob Palladino had to make a decent stop on that.
That's stop. The game is really wide open now. It takes one goal, and Nickel City has to start coming forward. Creating chances.
Here,
An example of two people, two strikers all by themselves.
Michael Dorr and ML Malvaso were dangerously close to breaking forward there. The ball went over the line off of Corsi Masonary, and the Nickel City Lasers will have another corner kick. So we're 8.5 minutes to half time approximately, and Corsi Masonary are up 1-0 on a goal by Matteo Ranelli. Dallas Detilio with the corner kick. And Rob Palladino read that one all the way and kept a hold of it.
Sure hands.
Joku trying to force his way through there. Coach John Sakura not too happy with that call. And he told me he was going to be good tonight. Well, John, we're on camera here. You broke your promise. That'll cost you. Foul down at the other end, and Nickel City, or correction, Corsi will have the indirect. Not that they'd be looking to score from this end of the field. Rob Palladino looking to pick up the ball, and he'll just boot it down. Danny Drew with the ball in the middle for Nickel City. Ali with it, and Grossi tries to clear it up. Dorr and Como battling for it on that far side. Ball's picked off by Danny Giroux. Giroux and Ali fighting for it. Ball into ML Malvaso, but he's converged upon, and the ball will go over the line. The corner kick for Nickel City Lasers. This is about their fourth or fifth corner kick of the first half. We're having a little technical difficulty right now. Marino will be back momentarily as we prepare for this corner kick. Marino, are you back?
A technical difficulty there.
Now we're solved, as that corner kick again goes awry for the Nickel City Lasers, and they are fortunate that they will have the throw-in on the near side. Ball thrown. Anthony Corsi heads it out of harm's way for now. Everyone coming forward. Anthony Corsi looking for Dave Barrett. That crazy hop, and Barrett almost got free there. An obstruction call against Corsi there, and Nickel City will have the free kick. But as you were talking about earlier, Marino, where that crazy field creates those crazy hops, as Melvaso chips it to Danny Giroux. Giroux on the acute angle, and nothing came of that one, an easy save. Ranelli now into the middle for Rocca.
Getting back to that field, it's really hard for a defenseman to judge where the ball is going to go after it's been kicked. You know, it's always better to play first time safe and just clear it out when you have the chance, rather than trying to fool around with it, risking losing the ball, and then you find yourself in bigger trouble.
Actually, we've had our first substitution in the game there when we were away on the technical difficulties. Number 4, Paulo Rocca, is in the game for Corsi. He replaces number 7, Mike Vrab. The first substitution of the match, and we are 40 minutes into this first half as the ball's thrown in by Grossi. Giroux with it in the middle for Nickel City, back to Ian Fricker. Fricker forward, Melvaso has it, but he loses it. Como with it now, he's looking up. Kachin with it now for the Lasers. Ali, and an offside flag is up on the far side.
Excellent offside trap. They're catching them all the time. It's a perfect unit there. All 4 defenders responding on one command, and they're all go out together. That's a classic offside trap.
Good work, Pat Murphy, Anthony Corsi, Derek Como, and Steve Rinaldi on that back line tonight for Corsi Masonry. Dave Barrett keeps the ball in the air, waiting for it to come down. Matteo Ranelli with it, and he almost got his leg free to swing that ball, but not quite. And the ball went into over the line. And just watching Aaron Brownlee go after that ball, he's limping a bit right now. We might have to check on his status at the half. I don't know if that little collision he suffered with the defender back in on the goal may be affecting him, but he's not moving at a brisk pace right now, I would say.
No, I think that that collision with his player there earlier on, and the result of that goal, might have left Aaron a little sore.
More than his pride. Michael Dorr with the ball now on the far side. Ali quickly turns and loses it, and the throw-in for the Nickel City Lasers, deep in the Corsi Masonry zone. The ball comes in. Michael Dorr can't get to it, and Ranelli ends up with it, and he just clears it out of harm's way right now. Joku going after the ball now for Corsi Masonry. Joku being marked by Steve Kachin. The ball goes over the line and into touch, and the throw in for Nickel City. Joku, I'm not sure how long he's been in the league, but certainly the second leading scorer in the league, he can move down that sideline pretty quick.
A very blistering speed on his part. He knows how to put the ball in the net. He just tried a very ambitious shot out there from, must be a good 40 yards. I don't think you're going to beat Aaron Brownlee from out there. But it was a good effort all the same.
Michael Dorr can't keep that ball into play, or keep it in play, I'm sorry, and the ball goes over the line. And the goal kick for Corsi Masonry. I'm quite sure that there's about a minute and a half left unofficially here in the first half. I'm quite sure they will just try to ride out the clock and go into the room at the half up 1-0. As Rinaldi sends the ball forward. Up from Matteo Ranelli, who keeps it in. Como and Dorr going after it. Rocca with it. Danny Giroux now for Nickel City. Foul called against Corsi there. Rinaldi has it go off of him and back into that middle area. Grossi with the ball. Grossi, a couple gentlemen trying to get open there as Danny Giroux has it now on that far sideline. Danny Giroux stops, waits for someone to get open, Emil Melvaso, and it plays off of Steve Rinaldi into touch.
Mario Grossi made an excellent attempt there. Seeing that the offside trap was on, he tried to carry it in himself. Would he have succeeded in doing that? There's no way anybody could have been offside. An excellent attempt on his part.
Good point there as we come to halftime here at Queens Athletic Field. Your score, Corsi Masonry 1, Nickel City Lasers 0. We'll be back in a moment. And welcome back to TV7's action of senior men's soccer. We're just into the second half here. Corsi Masonry up 1-0. Right now, Matteo Ranelli has just regained the ball for Corsi Masonry. Corsi Masonry in the red, going from right to left on your screen. The Nickel City Lasers in white, going from left to right. Number 15, Mukaki Abrams for Nickel City. A wide open shot there, and I think he had too much time to think on that one, Marino.
He had a lot of time. He could have taken another 2 or 3 steps right to the goalie and taken a better shot than what he let go there.
Just before we came back on the air, Michael Dorr had a very good opportunity for Nickel City, and so far they've had 2 solid opportunities here early in the second half. Right now they are down 1-0.
Being down 1-0, they have to start pulling their players forward. It might leave them a little short at the back, but as a result, they had 2 good shots on net. Right now, they didn't capitalize on them, but who knows? If they keep pushing players forward, chances are going to come.
Aaron Brownlee sends the ball back for Nickel City. Michael Dorr with it now. Dorr being marked by Rinaldi. Abrahams with it, and we'll have a corner kick for Nickel City. Some thoughts on the first half, Marino?
Yeah, pretty exciting first half. The play was up and down. Exciting game to watch. 1 goal, lots of opportunities. It should be an interesting second half.
As some of Marino's friends from Pat Mario is heckling him here at this point, so don't mind Marino, as Rob Palladino had to go up with the fist to knock it out. That ball was dangerous off the foot of Dallas Detilio, and Nickel City will try again from the other side.
If you're going to beat Robert, you have to put those corner kicks farther out. They have to be around the penalty shot area because he's too fast. He'll come out there. He'll take everything out of the air from there.
And Detilio makes the long trek 65 yards or so across the other way, and he'll try it again. As Palladino again gets the fist out there. A nice save on his part there. Detilio fighting for the ball now. In a moment, we'll try to get you updated on who's in the game right now. We had some substitutions at halftime. Danny Giroux fighting for the ball right now for Nickel City. Giroux with it. Giroux blocked by Matteo Ranelli. Referees has them play on as Grossi comes up. Still, Steve Rinaldi is going to get a talking to from that one, as Grossi went down very hard there.
I didn't think Mr. Rinaldi meant to do that. Mr. Grossi with an excellent move, and he caught Rinaldi flat-footed, and as a result, he took him down.
Kachin sending the ball in for Nickel City. And the ball goes over the line, and another corner kick for Nickel City. They've already had 4 here early in the second half. We're not 5 minutes in, and they certainly are applying the heat early.
They're looking for an early equalizer to this game, and unfortunately maybe get another one to go up 2-1. Who knows? They're really pressing now.
As Detilio will put it back in. Ball is up. Giroux came in, and he couldn't get a boot on it as Ali sends it out for Dave Barrett. Dave Barrett chipping it, looking for Mike Vrab. Number 17, Dennis Reich, tried to get to it as well. As mentioned, some substitutions. Dennis Reich is now in the match for Corsi Masonary. For the Nickel City Lasers, number 22, Min Nagian, is now in. As well as we already mentioned, number 15, Makaki Abrahams. Those are the substitutions that I can see offhand right now, as Dallas Detilio has a run on that side. Detilio cutting back into the middle. Detilio, we've got about a 3-on-6, as Abrahams was way offside as the flag went up. But once again, Nickel City coming in on the attack at a disadvantage, essentially, numbers-wise.
They're coming forward in great numbers, and they're, if this keeps up, they're a good chance of getting an equalizer here. Of course, the Masonry just looks a little flat in the first 5-10 minutes of this second half here.
Certainly turned out to be a nice night here at Queens Athletic Field. Around the mid-20s at the start of the game. Sun's going down, so it'll drop a couple degrees. But the way the day started out this morning, it's kind of nice the way it has turned out.
It's an excellent day. I thought it was going to snow this morning out on the golf course.
I think that's what everyone's been thinking in Sudbury this summer, especially on the weekend. A long ball from Rob Palladino. Mike Vrab going after it. And the foul called against Nickel City, an indirect kick coming up for Corsi Masonry. Mike Vrab was in the air, and a quick shove there put him in a precarious position, and as a result, the whistle is blown.
That's a result of a very long goal clearance from Rob Palladino. It's always an advantage to have a keeper or a sweeper that can knock the ball that far up the field with one hit. Now you have a set piece here, and a goal might come from this.
Matteo Ranelli jockeying for position there, everybody. Mike Vrab tried to finesse his way through there, and a handball called again on Pat Murphy. I don't think Pat didn't mind too much taking that call there, did he?
No, he was caught pretty far upfield, and this gives him a good chance to get back and regroup here now.
Nickel City putting that ball back into play. Catching with it on the near side now. Catchin avoids Mike Vrab. In the middle, Giroux sends it back to Catchin. Catchin sending it up. Number 9. Who I don't see on my sheet for the Nickel City Lasers there. Whomever number 9 is, throwing his hip into somebody there, and as a result, Corsi Masonry will have the indirect. Pat Murphy sending it forward for Corsi. Dave Barrett catching up with it. Anthony Corsi can't lasso it. I think a little frustration there as he sent that ball a long way into touch.
And it's a good thing he did get it. Some referees will give you a very stern warning and sometimes a card for delay of game for such tactics.
Certainly if it had been later in the game, a card may have come out, but we're still early here in the second half. As Sada Ali is having a nice run there, and he chips the ball too far. A situation there where it was a 2-on-5 for Corsi Masonry. They were looking like Nickel City has looked in the offensive zone tonight.
He didn't do very bad. He tried to chip it over, seen Aaron Brownlee come out. Would he have got it on net? Who knows? It might have been in.
This is true as Nickel City sets up on the goal kick. Interesting how you were talking a bit earlier about having a keeper or sweeper who can clear that ball a long way. I understand up in Elliott Lake yesterday, it didn't take too much to clear it.
I had 2 shots on net. Rob McTaggart launched some missiles himself. He was really letting them fly. Here it's a smaller field. I think it's about maybe 10, 15 yards lengthwise shorter than here. It's a little narrower too, but beautiful field. Lots of grass.
As Matteo Ranelli has the ball now for Corsi Masonry, and Rinaldi will play it back safely to Rob Palladino. A nice long ball there. Dave Barrett trying to flick it over. Mike Vrab gets free, not three. It's Vrab and Corsi were going after that, and as a result, Corsi will end up with the corner kick.
There's a classic example of how a goaltender can get into the offense. You see a long clearance flicked on by a center forward, and onto somebody else running in, catching the defense all flat-footed, almost resulting in a goal.
I'm not sure which side we're going to have the corner kick taken from this near side. Number 15, Salah Ali, will put the ball into play for Corsi Masonary. Everybody seems to be marked at this point. He's not taking a big run to this one. Puts it up there. And that ball came dangerously close to going in. A nice ball from Salah Ali on that one.
It was an in-swinger there. Should the player have gotten a little bit more head on that ball, it was in the back of the net. A little hesitation from the goalie on that one.
Substituting back in for Nickel City, number 7, Emil Milvasso, and number 11, Joey Hayes. Number 15, Makuki Abrahams, and number 22, Min Nagian, will come back out. So the Nickel City Lasers are back to their original starting lineup. Obviously, Coach Frank Milvasso looking to give those two players a little break. They're back in, and they should be raring to go. Foul called there against Corsi. And the ball put into play quickly by Mr. Grossi there. But Dave Barrett was infringing in the 10-yard area, and Nickel City will replay it. The ball is intercepted there. Aaron Brownlee almost couldn't decide which way to go on that one. Fortunately, he was aware when the ball was mishandled by the defenders, as Mario Grossi sends the ball into the middle, looking for Michael Dorr. Dorr sending it to Giroux.
That's where you have to communicate, John, as I was saying before, where the goalie has to talk to the defense and the defense have to talk to the goalie. As a result, there was almost a mistake there, and they almost capitalized on it.
An obstruction call against Corsi on that one. Indirect for Nickel City. Steve Katchen with it. Katchen into the middle. It goes off of Ali. Reich clears it out. Ball's sent back, yo-yoing back and forth, almost like a pong ball. Dave Barrett trying to send it out, and it's cleared back by Nickel City. Steve Rinaldi trying to flick it back. Detilio with it now. Detilio turns. Danny Giroux on that far side. Giroux has a little room. Giroux sending it to the middle. And number 9, it's still in play. Number 9 for Nickel City. As I said, we weren't quite sure who he was, but a solid opportunity there.
And an excellent opportunity, just a little bit out of his reach, or else it was in the back of the net. There's an example of catching the defense flat-footed.
Danny Drew with the ball now, trying to play for ML Milvasso. Milvasso plays it off of Matteo Rinelli, and the resulting corner kick for Nickel City. Certainly Nickel City, two very glorious opportunities in this game. They could easily be up 2-1 at this point, but they're down 1-0, and we've got about 32 minutes left here on TV7.
Just a little bit unfortunate not to find the net. They've had some great chances. If it keeps up, they're going to find it sooner or later.
Detilio with the ball. Milvasso with it in the middle to Michael Dorr. Michael Dorr, a little room, and it's in the net. A nice goal by Michael Dorr there. I think it looked, or at least up from here, Rob Palladino hesitated, and as a result, we're on even terms there. Michael Dorr at the 59th minute brings Nickel City even.
He hesitated that split second. I think that's what costed him getting out there. I think the defense was caught very flat-footed there. They were watching the ball, and you can't do that against young, aggressive players like this. They'll make you pay, and as a result, they did.
That would never happen to you, eh, Marino?
Oh, no, our defense is too airtight.
I believe only 3 goals allowed so far this year.
That's a result of playing with a fantastic team. Very strong defense, strong midfielders, and good strikers that can put the ball in the net that take the pressure off the goalie. Good coaching. It's an all-round team effort.
I didn't think Bob Segsworth was a good coach.
Oh, Bob, oh yes, he's a genius. He's a genius behind the team.
Don't give him credit, that much credit. His head will swell. He's a producer of this show, no less.
Oh,
As down the far side, Anthony Corsi goes in. The ball picked off by Nickel City. Mike Vrab heading into that middle area, and Mario Grassi gets a hold of it. Nickel City looking on that long ball. Detilio and Dorr down there. A little tumble there in the middle as the ball goes into touch, and I believe it will be a throw-in for Nickel City, but certainly a flurry coming back there, Marino.
The game has opened up to a very hectic pace, and now the team's going back and forth. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another 2 or 3 goals here.
Certainly would be nice. Hayes with the ball, looking to send it in the middle. Steve Giroux. Emil Milvasso flicking it back for Giroux. Giroux catches up with it. Giroux oversteps it. Giroux and Matteo Ranelli battling for it. The linesman's flag went up there. And an indirect kick coming here just inside the box.
Another dangerous set piece coming up here. The key is to get it away from Robert Palladino's range here.
Nickel City looking to set it up here. Just under 30 minutes left here in the second half. Now the ball comes outside the box.
I think that infraction was inside the area.
And the referee whistles it down. And certainly a couple of tense moments here for Corsi Masonry right now. A mini wall set up. Detilio in the middle for Kachin. Kachin whiffs on that one big time. And back come Corsi Masonry. Mike Vrab with it. Vrab sending it forward, looking for Dennis Reich. Reich catches up with it. Reich past the defender on that one. Reich steered a little wide, and he couldn't quite put enough leather on that to bend it towards the net forward. It went in the side of the net. And play continues. Dangerous footwork there, I believe. Giroux sending it forward, looking for Michael Dorr. Pat Murphy coming up on the solid defensive play there. Salah Ali there. Rocca with it now for Corsi. Rocca sending it forward, and Aaron Brownlee has an easy handle on that one. The nice kick. Milvasso flicks it. Dorr with it. Dorr can't get past Rinaldi this time. Rinaldi sending it up. Looking for Reich. Kachin picks it up. Giroux now with it. Referee D'Angelo trying to sell things down here as Kachin sends it forward. Rocca heads it. Ali with it now. Rocca has it go through his legs. Corsi comes up for it. Joey Hayes working around, and that ball is on that far side. Dallas Detilio keeps it in. Here come the lasers. Dallas Detilio steering to the middle. Over to number 9, and it goes off of Pat Murphy over that end line. Certainly a flurry of action there right now, Marino.
Like I said, it's getting wide open here, and chances are pouring in. Corsi Masonry just looks a little bit flat-footed right now. They're letting Nickel City run with the ball and run all over them too. They better shape up, or they could find themselves down 2 or 3-1 here.
As the ball comes in on the corner kick, it's a low bending ball. Number 9 sends it in for Corsi, and the offside flag went up there. Tempers are starting to get a little testy in that box area.
An infraction on the goalie there. Goalie in midair.
Oh, I think we're going to have a card. It appears that Rob Palladino will be booked here. The keeper for Corsi Masonry. He doesn't look too pleased about it. He pleads his case to the referee, Pietro D'Angelo, but Pietro keeps writing.
No, I don't think he's going to get too much from the referee on here. Anytime you push a player or you grab a player, for certain you're going to pick up a card.
As we have our first card of the match. And, you know, it's been a pretty cleanly played contest. Obviously, Rob felt that Nickel City was infringing on his area, and he wanted to establish his territory, as Steve Rinaldi will put the ball into play. Mario Grassi loses it. Dave Barrett with it now. Barrett looking for a little room on this near side. Barrett coming across the middle. Barrett looking in for Rocca. Rocca trying to keep it in. He does, but Nickel City will pick it up. Danny Giroux with it now. Giroux looking for that long ball. Pat Murphy sends it out of harm's way for now as Dallas DiTilio catches up with it. DiTilio into the middle for Hayes. And it goes forward. Anthony Corsi chips it back. Hayes ends up with it, sends it to the back line. Dave Barrett tries to pick it off. And the offside flag as Mark Barrett sent that ball forward. Nice ball by Mark on that one.
It was a nice ball. Just caught him, just barely caught him offside. Or else Mr. Malvaso was in alone on the goalie.
And as a result, Corsi Masonary will put the ball into play. Just under 24 minutes left here in the second half. It's a 1-1 tie, Corsi Masonary and Nickel City Lasers here on TV7. Steve Rinaldi sending the ball forward. Too far for Dennis Montini. Montini catches up with it, sends it back. Anthony Corsi up now. Corsi sends up. Dave Barrett got his head on it, but flicked it a little too high there, and a nice play for Corsi Masonary there.
Very nice play, especially a head ball from across. All you have to do is really just get enough of it put on net, and they're so hard to judge. They're so hard to stop because it's just a glancing head ball, and keeper from that close, he was only about 8 or 9 yards away. It's so hard to stop it if it's well placed in the corners.
We have a substitution now for Corsi Masonary. Number 18, Derek Como comes back in. Mario Grassi will put the ball back into play for the Nickel City Lasers. Salad Ali ends up with it. A little miscommunication there between Ali and Mike Vrab. And as a result, the ball gets turned over on the infraction. Lasers put the ball into play. Ball headed out by Steve Rinaldi. Joey Hayes couldn't get up there for it. Emil Melvaso is in. Rob Palladino a little lucky, and I think he got called for handling the ball just outside the box. Did he not, Marino?
I think he did touch it, or it caught him in the chest area, around the arm or something, but he did well. He was right on top of Emil Malvaso. As soon as Mr. Malvaso turned his head upfield, he seen Mr. Palladino in his face, and he tried. I wouldn't doubt if he intimidated him a bit to shoot a little early. That was a very, very good play on the part of Mr. Palladino.
And we have the direct kick here for Nickel City, and a big wall out there right now.
Well, from this close, you bring all your players back.
And the ball is sent over to Steve Katchen. Katchen, it goes off of Dave Barrett. Como breaks out for Corsi and sends it up. Grassi, Dave Barrett can't quite control that one. A nice play by Dave Barrett on that, and the ball goes into touch. Certainly a little fortunate there for the Nickel City Lasers that ball went off of Dave Barrett as hard as it did, or else he was in alone on goal.
Dave Barrett was unfortunate that it did go out of bounds. He was wide open. He probably would have had an excellent opportunity on net.
Pat Murphy clears that ball out for Corsi Masonary. Foul called on obstruction on Nickel City there, and the ball will come back into play via Corsi Masonary. Derek Como will put it back into play. 20 minutes left here in the second half. 1-1 on TV7. Como sending it forward, looking for Mike Vrab. Vrab flicks it. Aaron Brownlee just gets it in time as number 17, Dennis Reich, was right on top of him.
An excellent free kick out of the goalie's range, just on the edge of the 18-yard box, and it was flicked on, and the goalie was right there, Mr. Brownlee. As you see, another great save over here by Robert Palladino.
I was just going to say, Nickel City came right back, and Dallas DiTilio, in a split second sooner, he might have had that ball off before Rob Palladino had a chance to get prepared. But Palladino came up with the save, and we stay even. Ball thrown in by Nickel City. Giroux with it now. Giroux looking in the middle. Number 9 for Nickel City, sending it forward. A long ball. Rob Palladino with the easy handle on this one. Mike Vrab attempting to get that one. Dave Barrett bearing in on the play. Reich with it now. Reich loses it to Katchen. And Nickel City swing out. Ball sent in the middle. Emil Vasso ends up with it. But Corsi plays it back. Nickel City in control right now. Giroux with it. Giroux sending it up, looking for Dorr. DiTilio has it taken away. And Nickel City's coming up as Pat Murphy went down there. And correction. And the ball goes in the net. Dallas DiTilio created that chance. And number 7, Emil Milvasso, was Johnny on the spot. And the Nickel City Lasers go up 2-1. 19 minutes left. A big goal for them, definitely.
Very big goal. They were pressing and pressing since the second half started, and they've got 2 goals from it already. The initial save made by Robert Palladino. Mr. Malvasso left all by himself. Nobody picked him up, and he just placed it in the back of the open net.
And it looks like we're going to have a substitution here for Corsi Masonry. Number 21, Jaku comes back in. And also number 4, Paulo Rocca. They replace number 3, Anthony Corsi, and number 14, Dennis Montini.
Now, Corsi Masonry have to start pushing some of their players up forward, leaving gaps in the back. It should be interesting the rest of this game.
Well, certainly with 2 goal scorers like Joku and Dave Baird in there, they definitely have to try to get those gentlemen into the play a bit more and try to bring it up to equal terms. 2-1 for the Nickel City Lasers here with about 17 minutes left. Emil Milvasso just scored, and Michael Dorr for Nickel City, and Matteo Ranelli in the first half for Corsi Masonry. As Giroux throws it in, too far for Emil Milvasso, but the ball went over the end line off of the foot of Matteo Ranelli. He's a little disconsolate about that one, but he's got to get back into it as the Lasers will put the ball back into play on the penalty kick.
The city's had some excellent opportunities from set pieces, especially corner kicks. I think Corsi Masonry better not let them go to 3-1, or else this game might get out of reach.
Definitely, as the ball's put into play, Rob Palladino got his fists on that one. The ball's still dangerously close to that Corsi Masonry goal in the area as Palladino comes screaming out of there and puts the ball out of harm's way for now. The ball goes into touch off of Reich. Nickel City right back on the play. And Pat Murphy clears it out into touch.
Nickel City looks like a complete new team from the first half. They were a little lackluster, a little slow, but now they've come back.
And a ball right off the post and put in on the rebound by number 21, Danny Giroux.
Fantastic shot on net.
I didn't see who took the initial shot, Marino.
I didn't see. I just seen the flight of the ball. Rob got a finger on it, put it off the post, but again, a player from Nickel City left wide open to bang it in the back of the net. It's pretty hard for a player to miss an open net.
That's true. The 73rd minute. It is now Nickel City 3, Corsi Masonry 1, and certainly things are not looking good for Corsi Masonry right now.
Just come out in the second half, and I thought maybe they thought that they could win with a 1-0 lead, and not against caliber of players like this.
Marino's legion of fans coming to say hello to him, pay homage to him this evening after his shutout yesterday. Right now, certainly I don't think Corsi Masonry can be too pleased. Obviously, they were probably looking to move up in the standings tonight. They're only 3 points behind Italia Flyers, but if they drop this match, as they are in danger of doing right now, they will have no hope of catching them, and they will definitely end up with, I think, a little tougher first-round game in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, you like to go into the playoffs on a winning note anyway. You like to go in on a little bit of a roll. You don't want to go down 2 or 3 games and then you have to go into the playoffs. I think they don't want to meet up with Elliott Lake. I think they're only 3 points behind the Flyers, and I believe they have another game left. So if they win both of them, you know, they could move up, and who knows who they might end up playing.
Well, they have to play Pat Mario's in the last one, so I'm quite sure you guys, or you do not want to give them any ground. That's for
Oh, no, not at all. We don't want to give any team ground.
As Mike Vrab plays the ball off the wall there. A little confusion right now from Corsi Masonry as Como tries to get through there. An obstruction call. A lot of whistles here in about the last 5-6 minutes of play.
Well, now Corsi Masonry is pushing all their players forward, looking for the second goal and the equalizing goal. So now Nickel City has to play a little bit of defense here, pulling all their players back except Mr. Dory, who's the lone striker.
Ball going to that far side. Dave Barrett gets up for it, but Aaron Brownlee had a beat on that ball all the way, and he sends it forward. Our next Cable 7 TV 7 telecast, as the obstruction flag goes up, and I think we're going to have a warning here against Emil Milvasso.
He's been trying to waste time. He's kicking the ball a little forward there. I think if he does it again, it'll be a card.
Definitely. As Como puts in, as I was mentioning, our next telecast will be of the first round of the playoffs, Wednesday, August 22nd. We will have the 7th place team, CS Italia, versus whomever ends up in 2nd place. Of course, if things were to end up as they are today, that would be Elliott Lake United. So, but as we've already mentioned, who knows what could happen in the playoffs. The playoff round, as I mentioned, starts Wednesday, August 22nd, and then continues Friday, August 24th, when 3rd place takes on 6th place, and then Sunday, August 26th, 4th will take on 5th, with the survivors moving on to the semifinals on Monday, August 27th, and Tuesday, August 28th. So certainly the playoffs are a tight schedule.
Lots of games in a short amount of days, and with a 3-game final, it makes for a long season.
Plus, after the playoff championship, the Dieter Alliset Cup, which in essence concludes the season. Other games upcoming here on TV7 as Mike Vrab has the ball, sending it forward for Dave Barrett. Barrett going in on net. Ball goes off of Mario Grassi. Barrett gets it back, sends it for Matteo Ranelli. Ranelli ball handling, and the ball's cleared by Steve Katchen. Friday, September 7th, we will have the 3rd game of the finals, if we get to a 3rd game in the best of 3 series for the senior men's final. And Sunday, September 16th, the Dieter Alset final will also be here. I'm not sure what happened down there, as we have an injured Corsi Masonry player right now, and I believe that they are in possession of the ball as the play is whistled down. We've got about 18, just over 17 minutes. We'll see who went down there. They're looking at his ankle, whoever it is, or his lower leg, and the linesman is helping him out there, but he is not very comfortable at this point, I don't think.
No, it looks a little bit more serious than a cramp. I think he might have jammed his leg on one of the many ruts in the field. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
Definitely you don't want to see anyone get hurt no matter what. As the linesman Angelo DiPaolo is lending a hand over there. Once whoever gets up, looks like Steve Ronaldo. No, I'm not sure if it's Steve. As he gets up and Tries to work out whatever kinks he has. It looks like he's going to stay in there either way, which is an interesting call. Yes, I believe it is Steve Rinaldi.
As long as it's nothing serious, no further damage can be done by running on it. It should be okay. I think it's a cramp, I believe.
Possibly. Certainly, weather hasn't been that hot that it should affect things, as we have the soccer version of the face-off over in the middle. Michael Dorr coming in, and Rinaldi survived his first test there, as Dave Barrett has the ball for Corsi Masonry, sending it forward, looking for Joku. Mike Vrab ends up with it. Vrab steering around. Vrab with it. Vrab into the box area, and Vrab, nice save by Aaron Brownlee there, and the ball goes into touch. And Corsi Masonry will have the throw-in. A good play there for Corsi.
Excellent individual effort by Mr. Brab there. The only thing that stopped him from scoring a goal is he was just a little bit impeded in progress going in by one of the defenders. They gave the goalie enough time to come through and make the save.
And right now Aaron Brownlee is a little ginger. I'm not sure if that play is what did it to him, but we mentioned that he was on the limp a bit in the first half. And we're back set to resume play. The throw-in from Como back to Pat Murphy. Murphy sends it up for Matteo Ranelli, and the impeding foul called against Nickel City. And things are getting hectic here right now. We're 15 minutes remaining in the second half. Nickel City Lasers 3, Corsi Masonry 1. Pat Murphy will put the ball in the play, chips it over, looking for Joku off the post. A nice play there by Joku, and certainly Aaron Brownlee was lucky that post was there.
I think Aaron got caught flat-footed on his line, and Mr. Joku had ample time. I don't think he realized how much time he had, and just unfortunate to see it go off the bar.
As the ball is put into touch, Pat Murphy once again will put into play. Derek Como controlling it now. Como with it. Como being marked by Giroux. The ball sent into the middle. Michael Dorr ends up with it. And Nickel City just quite content to blast it away as Rob Palladino comes out. Not bad off the one hop there.
Excellent.
Takes a lot of hand-foot coordination.
Goalies are a breed by themselves.
And you're living proof of that. Don't leave openings like that, Marino.
No, I am starting to gather that. Don't leave myself open to criticism.
I didn't say it was criticism.
No.
I just stated fact. As Joey, correction, number 18 for Nickel City, Ian Fricker almost had the opportunity there. They'll have the throw-in right now, looking for Michael Dorr. Dorr controls it. DeTilio couldn't get hold of it. Joey Hayes with it now for Nickel City as the Corsi defense comes up, and Rob Palladino will handle that ball easily and send it forward into the night. Mario Grassi flicks it, but I don't think he flicked it in the direction he wanted, and the ball will go into touch. Mike Vrab getting the ball back quickly, looking for Dave Barrett, but Mario Grassi got in the way. Michael Dorr sending it for Dallas DeTilio. Rinaldi is the only defender back. Dorr and DeTilio. Dorr with a nice blast, and it's in the net past a diving Rob Palladino.
An excellent shot. Robert did well to get a hand on it, but it was very well placed. I think they went just inside the post, and there's an example of Corsi Masonry pushing up, leaving gaps at the back, and this is what happened. You had a 2-on-1, and I think this game's a little far out of reach now for Corsi Masonry.
As Dandy Don Marith would say, turn out the lights, as we have a couple substitutions. That cannonading drive is second of the game by Michael Dorr at the 77th minute. Number 3, Anthony Corsi checks back in, and checking in for Nickel City Lasers, number 13, Dave Cacciati, and number 20, Roberto Borello now in the game. Obviously, Coach Frank Milvaso sending in some of the substitutes, give them a little playing time. A foul's called there, and they're up 4-1. And Coach Sikora and the rest of the Corsi squad are not in the best frame of mind right now, I don't think.
No, they let a 1-0 lead. They just let it go to waste. They're just playing as if it was a 0-0 game, and you can't do that. One goal is nothing in the game of soccer now. Now all Nickel City has to do is just sit back, play defense, clear it out first time, and they should be okay.
As Derek Como sends the ball forward for Corsi. Matteo Ranelli with it into the middle to Pat Murphy. Murphy misplaces it and loses it. Joey Hayes with it. Nice bit of dribbling by Joey Hayes. And we've got a 5-on-4. And Dave Cacciati was offside. Rob Palladino not taking any chances there as he came screaming out of that net. And the offside is called.
Indeed, Nickel City is still pushing forward. They're relentless. They're still they're going the whole 90 minutes here. They're not going to give up. Hopefully they don't want to give up another goal.
As the ball is now into play. Little mini scrum there in the middle of the pitch right now. Dave Barrett emerges with the ball. Barrett still playing with it in the middle. Barrett with it being marked by DeTilio. Barrett, nice heel there. Barrett still looking to send it over to someone. Mike Vrab gets his head on it, and it goes harmlessly in the air to Aaron Brownlee, who will send it forward. Sahad Ali with it. Ali controlling it nicely. Como with it now. Como being marked by Borello. Como moving down the sideline. And the foul called there, a little straight leg there, I would think.
From behind, those are the worst ones, really. When you get nailed for a straight leg from behind, it's guaranteed there'll be an injury, because usually studs come up, and nobody likes to get hit with those things.
That's true, as Anthony Corsi loses the ball to Dave Cacciati, but Pat Murphy gets in the way of the ball and sends it back to Rob Palladino. Dave Barrett sending it forward, looking for Mike Vrab. Vrab gets control of it, and the ball goes off an aggressive Aaron Brownlee on that play. Good play on his part.
Excellent play on his part to cut out the pass coming through, or else if he did stay on his line, Mr. Vrab would have been in one-on-one, and who knows, it would have made it 4-2.
As Reich has the ball go off of him, Dallas DeTilio looking for a little room. DeTilio and Reich going at it to get after that ball. DeTilio ends up with it. DeTilio back. Nickel City is taking their time as the offside flag comes up there. And Corsi Masonry will set the ball up. Ball goes off Borello. Corsi with the scissor kick. Giroux tried to play it, and it did not quite go as he wanted. Derek Como, and it goes into touch, and it'll be a throw-in for Corsi Masonry.
A little stalling tactic there, delaying the ball.
I can't imagine why.
Being up 4-1, I don't think they have to stall.
No, just let the game take its course as Joey Hayes gets the ball. Hayes with a nice run back to Borello. Borello looking to give it back. A little showtime here right now as Joey Hayes gets it back, sends it forward, and Rob Palladino will easily play that down. We've got about 5 minutes remaining here. The Nickel City Lasers are up 4-1 as Joku has the ball, sending it for Matteo Ranelli. Ranelli with it. Ranelli into the middle now.
Come on.
Still dribbling it. Anthony Corsi sends it right back. Kachin and Mike Vrab battle for it. And a push on the part of Mike Vrab. And the ball will be put into play by Nickel City. 4-1 for the Lasers. Their goal scorers, Michael Dorr with 2, Danny Giroux and Emil Milvaso with 1 apiece. And for Corsi Masonry, number 8, Matteo Ranelli. And there you have it, your final score. The Nickel City Lasers 4, Corsi Masonry 1. For Marino Scarsellone, I'm John Metcalfe. Thank you for watching and have a good day.
Corsi Masonry's Dave Barrett beats Italia Flyers' Paul Carboni. Corsi up 2-0 in penalty kicks. And then Roberto Palladino stops Italia's John Farrington. Coming up next, Corsi's Michael Vrab, and he will find the 5-hole in Carboni. Masonry up 3-0. Italia has to score or it's all over. So Bruno Cicciotti hits the post off the other one. It stays out, and that is it. It is over. Corsi Masonry wins the senior men's soccer title 2-0 after winning tonight in penalty kicks 3-0. The final actually is 1-0.